Railroad Preserver 2000, back again doing another live stream in Roblox High Iron. I am in, well, as you can tell, I'm in High Iron. I'm at Doko Switching Yard, and this is one of two new additions to the game. Well, there was a new addition to the game. That was Santa Fe 3751, and over here is the mother of all steam engines. Famous for Last of the Giants and their size overall. Say hello to the Union Pacific Big Boy, otherwise known as the 4000 class. Built during World War II and used throughout the 40s and early 50s, these were some of the largest steam locomotives ever built. And they're probably a very fitting finale to the entire steam locomotive line for Union Pacific. They're not the only finale for steam, in that there were other railroads still using steam and building it, steam, N&W being a good example, but Union Pacific is famous for using the big boys rather late in the transition period and end of steam. Of course, as y'all know, there are 8 survivors of this class, with the most famous example currently being 4014, the sole Union Pacific big boy to be brought back into operation. As you can see, Zara and the team here on High Iron have recently added a big boy to the fleet along with 3751, and these were both released about, I'd say, an hour or two ago. And I want to say they have done a fantastic job. There's still, like real life steam engines, a few minor teething troubles to be worked out with the 4000 and 3751 respectively, but those will be worked on as soon as possible. So now that they've got the engine stopped, I do want to take a moment to look it over, because I've actually seen one of these engines. I've seen this engine's sister, 4012, in Scranton back in 2015. I'm going to tell you, for one thing, this is to scale somewhat, but for another, when I stood in front beside 4012, the driving wheel was taller than I was at the time. But I've actually seen half of the survivors. I've seen 4012, 4006, 4004, and since I was in Cheyenne, I was also I technically may have seen 4014, at least where it was stored, or being stored at the time, because I missed it running by 2 weeks, so I figured it'd have to be back in Cheyenne at the time of my visit. And then here's another 4000, basically identical. I wonder, and Zara, this is if you're seeing this, I wonder if y'all could make a version of the big boy that has toggable smoke deflectors, like if someone doesn't want them, they can get rid of them. If not, well, you get the idea. And I also think, I think there was also a bunch of new rolling stock added as well, or that's in the process of being added, but I'm not sure. Let me check real quick. I could be wrong on that. I just know these guys, I just know the guys were modeling a bunch of other stuff. Okay, no, so the locomotives have been added first, but there is a bunch of other equipment and rolling stock being modeled. But the other reason I am showing this is because I'm trying to help drum up support for the game with Roblox and their new rules. If the game does not get the qualified, a large number of visitors, I forget the rules, but if you look back at one of my first new streams of this game, you'll see what the problem was in terms of the issues that High Iron is facing. Just know this: if they don't get a certain amount of visits from people in a certain age group, I don't know, I guess the game will not be able to be updated or something. I don't remember. I feel, and Cesara and company, if you'd like to correct me on this in either chat or Discord, please do so, because I could be wrong with all this. And also, since y'all did add a 4,000, I hope you know that you might want to add a much longer train for it to move. Just saying. But I'm currently joined in game by a bunch of different people here. I think a few of them are developers for the game. Yeah, you got Via, you into 50, and a few others. But I think a lot of the people in here are people that directly work on the game. And this is comical. A freaking 4,000 hauling only 10 tiny ore cars. I mean, you know, I just realized, hold on, I'm going to ask him if we could do something real quick, just for the heck of it. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I was about to say, I wondered if they could add longer trains in the game for the 4,000s to handle, because 23 cars is something that would be enough of a limit for, say, something like Gainesville Midland 208 or 209. But this right here is perfect for it. I'm surprised they don't have a UP caboose. They could just reskin this one. Oh well. I will say, I wish there was a way to zoom in. I know Rails Unlimited had it so if you right-click the mouse while trackside, you could zoom in and out, kind of like you would with a camera while rail fanning, which is fine. But I noticed High Iron doesn't have that. I don't know if that's just due to them not wanting to have to deal with Rails Unlimited trying to copyright that. I don't see why they would, but meh. But yeah. Also, I don't know, I'm just thinking. In fact, actually, let me share my live stream with the Rails Unlimited, or not Rails Unlimited, excuse me, High Iron team. My brain is not braining tonight, folks. And I want y'all to know that I'm mainly doing this to try and help support High Iron, because I don't want this game dying because of Roblox's sheer incompetence. Please, support the game, support its development, and basically give all the developers your support, because if you don't, we could lose this, and that would be a real damn shame. There's way too much detail in this thing for it to die because of a company choosing to profit over, you know, decency. Also, I just realized, guys, I think we're going to need a bigger roundhouse. Just saying. Because, yeah. Anyways, you've just seen 4019 and 3751 trackside. Now it is time to add... Now it is time to... Well, if I can find it. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, there they are. Yeah, and there we go. I tell you. So there's 4019. And there's 3751. What's interesting is you can tell these guys must be near where the Santa Fe used to be present, because they got three. They've got two of Santa Fe's Northerns and one 464 in the game. So they've got three Santa Fe steamers, three Pennsy. But yeah, anyways. You know what? Here, hang on. Let me... Ah, damn. I was hoping somebody... I wonder if somebody could get the... I wonder, could somebody get the gas turbine or some other diesel? Oh, that's right. I can't chat in game. Go figure. Let me see. I think the big boys survived in service long enough to be photographed with the gas turbine locomotives that UP had at the time. There it is. Oh, they have a pet rock. Yes. Oh, there goes Conrail. It's a long consist, but yeah. They also have a gas turbine locomotive here. And I can't see any messages sent in chat because I'm not giving my face to Roblox. Not that any of the pedos there would find it appealing. That's a joke, lads. Anyways, enough of that. On with this. I also, since I'm a stickler for accuracy, I have to check the bell and all. So just be warned, Zara. I'm probably going to bug y'all about that. Okay, bell's good. Oh, and this is actually a perfect, oh, yeah. Well, here's a perfect comparison right here. This is the 280 that's in the game. And, I'll put it like this. That engine, I can't remember when it was built, but, this is actually a good comparison to show, you know, what Steam was like before the big boys and how far it got with the big boys. Naturally, though, if you really wanted to show a comparison, somebody needs to get the early, like, 1800s era locomotives out on display here, like the Virginia and Truckee engines and the 440. That would be a really good comparison to show how American steam, you know, progressed. Let's see. That's a good shot. They have a lot of camera views for this. Let's see. I'm gonna give it a fairly modern consist. There we go. Okay. And unfortunately, they don't have a Santa Fe caboose in here yet. So, since it's a modern consist, we're going to just assume it's a freight hull of some sort. This is a train about 13 cars in length. Also, rain in the desert, you're mad. There's no bloody rain here. Okay, let's see. First off, I want to point out how detailed this is. I mean, the level of detail on this is something immaculate, and I love it. Well, as O. Winston Link famously said, now I've got to bug him about the A. In reference to the A-class locomotives of N&W fame. There's a reason for that. And it's because I wasn't alive when 1218 last ran an excursion service. So, I think you can guess what I'm trying to hint at here. There's a mixed freight. And here's why the engine is... And here's one of the perks of an engine like this being articulated. It allows the main engines of this thing to articulate around sharp curves and guide tracks. We'll ease up on the throttle here, get it up to about 60 to 65. That was about... I'm going to get it up to about 65, 50, somewhere around there. That was about the speed these things could do. Oh, crap. Well, that didn't go too well. Let's try again. Hold on. You didn't see this. We're gonna, you didn't see anything. We're just gonna try this again. Right, back to the thing. We're gonna try that. We're gonna try that again. Oh yeah, everybody and their brother is going for the big boys. I don't blame them in the slightest. Okay, I'm gonna... Let's see, I'm probably gonna do a fairly heavy oil move, so I'm gonna go with a Rio Grande boxcar to start. Then a bunch of oil cars. Undo. Gonna get a red caboose. Probably Pennsylvania. Why not? 20 cars. Now that ain't bad in the slightest. Just don't blow up, folks. All I'm gonna say, though, folks, is don't tamper with the train unless you want to blow up. Well, now they either have to add one of the Challengers, which I have photos of. I got photos of 3977. Or, I don't know. Ah, crap, I didn't mean to do that. Stop! Thank you. I just saw the seats here. Well, dang it. Okay. I can't get back in the engine. Oh, there we go. Try this again. I'm gonna back in with about... I'm going back in with about 10% throttle because, yeah, you don't want to kind of ram a 20-car bomb, which ain't good. Oh my God! Yeah, everybody and their brother is having either... Yeah, welcome to Union Pacific territory, where we have more big boys than anything else. Drop it to 4. Drop it to 2. Seems I got lucky with this. Right. All right, heading out of the yard. There goes 3751, one of the more famous Santa Fe 484s, the other being 2926. Interesting, we're now living in a time where we have two operational 484 Santa Fe types. And yet, we have two articulateds. Which is interesting, because it's like, it seems, I'll put it like this. Back in the 80s and 90s, the only articulateds running, at least in the mainstream excursion stuff, was 3985 and 1218. Now, granted, you had the Black Hills Central Railroad and their logging articulateds, but I didn't even know about them until recently. But now, in terms of more mainstream articulateds, in place of 3985 and 1218, you have 1309 and 4014. Now, and you also have Skookum, which is apparently on a 5-year stint with the California State Railroad Museum. But that might not be the case for much longer. We may have 3985 coming out of retirement. And I almost wonder if the trend may go over to 1218. Because, I'll put it like this. It seems the museum in Roanoke is planning something, but they're not, but their lips are being rather sealed on this. They, for one thing, they've got 611 running earlier than it did when I saw it for the first time after, trying to catch it for 15 years. Yes, Virginia Museum of Transport, I'm being serious with that number. I've been trying to see 1218 running since 2014 without luck until recently. But that's beside the point. Point is, everybody and their brothers bringing well-known articulateds back. If you think 1218 if you think 611 brings in the crowds, just wait and see what happens when you have it and 1218 both running. Oh God, that guy is going ludicrous speed. Yeah. Anyone up for a recreation of the 1987 NRHS convention? Because I sure am. I would pay money to see that. I'm not even joking. Like, and I don't mean to be a foamer here, but I mean, I'll just say it. I'm part of a generation that didn't get to see the Norfolk Southern steam program in its prime. With all the steam engines running, 4501, 750, 630, 722, 1218, 611, and etc. And, I mean, like bringing 611 back for excursion service, I mean, it let a whole new generation see it and see it run, And sometimes for stuff like this, that is all it takes to get a new generation of people interested in steam preservation. In order to prolong it, That's just something to consider. Also, this is going back to High Iron. Zara, if y'all hear this, I remembered a rather interesting quirk when I was chasing trains out in North Platte. When we got into towns that had the long lines of grain silos, the silos blocked the sound of the train. They literally blocked it. Like when they blasted the horn, you couldn't hear it until after you got past the silos. Also, I need to figure out how to get to the area where that GIF was made, where, like, everybody and their brother derailed the train. Oh, wait, I just realized you can't get out of the camera. That's not good. Uh-oh. I can't cycle out of the camera. Help. That's not good. I can't get out of the camera. What the hell? What the hell? What are you doing? You're lucky we didn't blow up. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you have an idler car between you and that. Also, Zara, just an idea. Y'all might want to make these blow up just for the hell of it and for the comedic side. Just saying. To those in the game trying to talk to me, I just want to point out I don't have my thing verified ID-wise. So, yeah. I don't have my my ID stuff verified in Roblox, and I'm not going to verify it because, I'll put it bluntly, I'm sure if the government I'm sure if the government wanted to reach out, they probably know me better than I know myself. But in terms of Roblox, I'm not giving my ID and face and all to a giant corporation like them. YouTube's enough. And I mean, and then there, everybody and their brother shows their face most of the time. So it's like, what's the point, you know? If I didn't want to show it there, I wouldn't show it. But yet, here we are. Well, now that I've decided to wreck and run 4019, and pretty much show proof that I would not be able to be trusted with a giant engine like the 4000 class, let's go and check out the frickin' 3751. A very well-known Southern California steam legend. It's known, I can't remember the exact history of it, but it has been in excursion service now for about 30-odd years. Again, to all of you who are more in-depth, who are more versed on this than me, please fill me in, because, yeah. Also, hear me out. Doubleheader between 2926 and 3751. New Mexico Steam Heritage. You guys might want to make some calls. Just saying. Just saying. Oh man. I'm seeing double. Or I was seeing double. And understand, and 3751 is one of those locomotives I've never had the chance to see running. Primarily because, like 4014, it's on the opposite side of the country. And how... I can't move it. I can't get this thing to move. Uh-oh. Zara, help, please. That's actually a problem. I can't get the thing to move. Wait a minute. How do you move it? Hang on, how do you... I must be going crazy here. I don't know. Let me see. Why am I doing it wrong? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but the UI isn't showing up. Let me despawn it and try it again. Hold on. What the... Hold on. That's not good. Wait a minute. Okay, I can't delete it. That's not good. Can I clear it? Okay, there we go. That did it. Okay, so as I said earlier, there's a few bugs. So let me try this again. There we go. Yeah, so one of the quirks with 3751 at the moment is the day-night cycle breaks the UI for right now, so that's interesting, but it's working now, so... I will say, Zara and the others are going to probably hate my guts if they start adding stuff from down south, because then they're going to be adding locomotives I've probably not only know, but have grown up with for years on film. And I have Mark 1 and Jim Boyd and Mark S. Balkin for that. I grew up watching a box set of their DVDs when I was a kid. Pretty much all their stuff from like the 80s to the early 90s, when the Steam program was still in full swing, was what I grew up watching, and it introduced me to a lot of different tourist railroads that I later visited. Strasburg, Cass, Western Maryland, Steamtown, 611, 4501, TVRM, you name it, I've seen them, save for like a few operations. I've seen a good deal of stuff. Let's see. Let's see if we can do... Let's have some fun. Well, I hope we don't suffer an accident. That would be terrible. Ah, crap. Wait a minute. I love you can just slide on the brake. I love you can just casually drift the engine via like stopping the brakes suddenly. That's funny. And you'll note the sound effect for the bell is accurate because the bell was operated via a steam pump. Oh, good. We're catching up. Perfect. Oh, crap! Turn! Oh. Oh, dear. We struck a bridge. That's not good. Well, that's not good. Man, I am not having a good track record with these trains today. Well, good news is everybody sort of survived, maybe. Engineer and fireman may have made it okay. We'll just have some burns. Guys in the... Everybody in the combine car back might have some whiplash, but everybody's fine. It's fine. Nobody died. Thank God for that good steel Pullman construction, right? Oh, God. So, you can wreck trains in this. It's just not what I remember being able to do, like, on Rails Unlimited. What I mean by that is, I can't seem to wreck the trains like I could on Rails Unlimited, where it was just the crazy derailments and stuff. But I'm sure that'll change. Besides, it's like Stormworks. Once people found you could sink ships, everybody was like, oh, I want to do this. How can I make every boat sink? You know? But, yeah. But, yeah, let me see. I tell you, I would love to be able to do a multi-unit lash up, but the problem is you can only spawn one locomotive at a time. Which is a shame, because I'd love to do a double header with 2 steam engines or 2 different diesel types, which was common from the early to mid 70s through the early 80s. Even into the 90s, depending on the railroad, you could still find modern power lashed up with stuff from like the 50s or later. I wonder if I can take the guy's train. Oh, never mind. Never mind. They were smart. Oh, well, fair enough. And I want to point out, this thing is to scale to an extent. Yeah, it's about as to scale as you can get. Because I do remember the driving wheels being about as tall as me back then, but if not taller. Now, does this guy know that his train was taken? Well, I'll put it like this. To those in High Iron's development team, if you can hear me or see this, one idea I do have, at least for the camera options, is having a stationary third-person camera that you could use to get cinematic shots if you were like streaming and stuff in game. Because I used to do that in Rails Unlimited a lot, and it made for some great. It was a good way to make like professional video on the games to help promote them. You know. Alternatively, I do wonder if there could be some, potentially deliberate derailment spots, just for either those who want to do nothing but chaos or, the meme, for the train wreck, if you catch my drift. I mean, understand, I'm just brainstorming ideas. None of this seriously has to be added, but especially the derailment thing. But the camera thing, though, I feel could have potential, And really, I don't see Rails Unlimited potentially having a problem with it. The games are already different enough. It's only really the genre that's the same. I lived somehow. I just noticed this. No shot! I didn't realize you could sit down in all this, and I certainly didn't expect the piano. That's funny. Nice touch. That's a very nice touch. I like that. And I also love the daylight painting. I love that you all have a mural for a famous engine that's not even in the game yet. That's funny. That's really funny. But I also love it at the same time. Props to you. Oh, crud. That's right. Zara. If you and the others look in track components or general refs, I forget which channel it's in, I found a railroad crossing sign that had the old glass illuminators on the actual crossing sign itself. Not just this, but on the actual railroad crossbuck itself. It was in fairly bad shape and was bent, but I did try to get as many photos of it as I could to try and help with the modeling. Oh dear. Yeah, this seems to be a common problem. Oi! You're leaving your train! What are you doing? I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, to those who were in the traffic zone. Oh, never mind. Ah, yes, a USNS switch machine. These are the kind that I saw at Saluda, believe it or not. This exact model. Still in the ground. I'm surprised. I'm almost surprised that they didn't do anything. Oh, look, it's a local going at ludicrous speed. This is the only other way I can get pacing shots, by the way, is by doing it like this. Probably gonna fall off the void here in a minute. Now I'm gonna wait on him. Only real way I can do pacing shots in the game, since I can't, since there's really not a good third-person camera that you can then click to make stationary, it's, you gotta do it the hard way. Well, not hard way, but you gotta do it with, shift and whatever key. So mainly, like, D, since I'm wanting to pace the train going this way, which is in a minute. Interesting seeing a big boy run tender first. Sticky keys, go away. There we go, this helps. Well, now this helps a lot. Ha ha ha. Yes, I am a genius. I found a cheat. So here's a good... Welcome to the Mark 1 video flip cam. Ha ha ha. Yeah, to Zara, y'all may want to take notes of some of the camera angles I've got. Just saying. Yeah, when Mark 1 Video would mount their cameras up on the engines, it would usually be back here or further up on the center cylinder, roughly. Sometimes even right here at the crosshead. Here's a good shot. There would be a good camera angle, possibly. Tender cam. As in, like, locomotive tender, by the way. Or this, like a highly exposed version. Just an idea, of course. And they stopped. Why the devil did they stop? But here's something interesting for y'all. The underside of... Oh, well, I was going to say the underside of the engines, so all of the running gear and all is modeled in this game to where it's in full detail. Because they, unlike Rails Unlimited that went off a photo reference, these guys use the blueprints right down to a T to make sure the engines are right. You can't get more dedicated than that. Plus, I also try to send in as much photo reference as I can because, and I'll just say it to those watching. The reason I send way more photo reference than is probably necessary is because while a lot of it may not be used today, I know some of it may end up being used tomorrow. That's my saying on the matter. What I mean by that is what's not used in modeling today could be used at some later date down the road, be it for detailing, be it for design, etc., you know? That's sort of that's how I look at it, you know? And yeah, here's the roundhouse. Southern Pacific inspired, apparently. It's about 6 stalls, which is evident because of that. And I love that they got, you know, random rail sections and stuff sitting out. That's accurate. Would have the lights on due to, I will say there's a few details missing from this. For one, you would have roof vents up on the top to vent the smoke out. You'd also have industrial lights, the big metal ones. You know what I'm talking about, the big green metal ones that you see in antique shops for sale. You'd have some of them hanging down, providing light. Between these pillars, you'd probably have some sort of a workstation or desk. Kind of like the tables you'd see in a machine shop, you know, to do very light repairs and stuff. Could probably have a job board on the wall for, like, where the foreman and stuff would be. Maybe a few safety slogans put around, which would be accurate. A lot of these shops would have those. Even today, you can still find them. But, yeah. And as for the inspection pit, well, steps. Just very, you know, rudimentary steps are sometimes put in. Maybe not much, but just a little bit, you know? Just a little bit. As for the turntable, well, I don't know if this is I don't know if this is one of those balance beam tables where you can turn it by hand or if it was electric. I'm going to assume it was electric, and I'm going to assume this is the control room for it, but meh. Now that's interesting. See, they've modeled the switch to where it moves, and yet you don't have the rod going from the switch stand to the track. But then again, I could also see why that would be a pain in the neck to model. Because the switch stand and the track are separate meshes, so yes. Well, it's getting close to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for me, and I have to be at work tomorrow at 9 in the morning. So I'm probably going to call it here for the night. So I will see y'all later and hope y'all have enjoyed this update. And here's to hoping High Iron stays around for a good while yet.